Greetings, this is Pillar Nexus here with another episode of Player Nexus. This time for Sakura Arms. I know I've covered the game under the Pillar Loves Tabletop Games series label, but I just wanted to talk more about the strategies in this game because there's a lot to it. Since I've gone over the rules before, I'll just go over the initial state of the game. At the start, distance is maxed out, far away from each other, or is at like 3, flares empty, life is full. Eventually, the distance is going to close, or it gets built up, either turned into flare or knocked out by attacks, which can then be recovered or put towards enhancements. And then once the aura is back, you either keep it up or you just try to get distance again. And then your life is getting worn down. And it's going to your flare period. And then that flare goes towards your special stuff. And ends up in the aura, or ends up in the shadow, and can find its way back to the aura, possibly back to distance or flare, or towards the enhancements. I like that there's this just limited number of tokens, and it's going to be all in one thing or something else. The other factor is vigor, and managing that as you're always getting one every turn after the start of the game, and that helps you with doing all that stuff in the first place. And there's once you understand the basics of this, start thinking about how to make the most efficient use of the way things are set up here with the cards you're going to put into your deck. Another factor to pay attention to is with the Megami they have options for. There's the ability for the cards that have it, going over that, and then there's the likely distance of where you'll be doing most of your attacks with that Megami. So we have Irina, whose attacks are mainly up close, and Resolve is her ability, so that when your life is lower, those cards are stronger. But then again, you're on the edge of defeat, so it's kind of a risky thing to be with her. There's Himika, whose attacks are more long range, so they're going to be easier to do earlier in the game, but then you're trying to maintain that distance for as long as possible, or be teamed up with a Megami that's actually set up for close range shenanigans. And her special stuff is Inferno, so that if you've already played 2 cards, the cards you start playing with Inferno are going to do even more. We have Takoya, whose attacks are more like kind of close, but not too close, unless it's absolutely needed. And your special is Artistic, so you want to have your vigor as maxed out for as long as possible. And we've got Amoro, whose attacks are also along similar lines. Close, but not too close. But also, she's got traps. So there's an important distinction to remember in this game. There's your played pile, which is face up, and your discard pile, which is face down. Things you discard for basic actions and other effects will go to the discard pile. Remember that when you have that option to shuffle, you can look at your discard pile and see if there's a trap that's going to be in range. I believe she has some other things she can do from her discard pile as well. And then there's Yuki, which is kind of unusual. She's kind of unusual in that she has an auxiliary card called the Umbrella, and the ability to transform. So at the end of her turn, she can go from closed Umbrella to open Umbrella, or open to closed. And that determines her range. Closed, it's going to be in kind of mid range. Open is going to be way up close. Remember that in the advanced play for this game, basic actions, the basic action for forward cannot be taken while it's at 2 or less. And finally, there's Shinra with platform. Her platform cards are more powerful as long as you have one or more enhancements. And not just her own enhancements, but whomever you're teamed up with. And she's more in the mid to long range for her attacks and abilities. And there's Saine. Kind of mid to close, and her power is idea. You pretty much have to be kind of defenseless to make the most of it. So risk yet reward. And that's all 7 of them. Different ranges, different abilities. The way they're combined together will have an interesting effect on how you build your deck and then play. Eventually you'll get to the point where you'll have to build your deck. So I've gone with Himika and Shinra because they're both in the mid to long range school of combat. So actually figuring out what to make your deck with. You'll have your 3 special and 7 normal. Attacks are are critical to breaking down their aura enough to start hitting their life. Actions can help you with that one way or another. And you've got your enhancements. The thing with enhancements is that it requires tokens from either your aura or the shadow, and in order to get that out there, you're going to have to knock people's aura down, knock people's life down, and make them use their specials. Or you're just going to have to straight up do other stuff with actions and such to make use of that. And then whether or not to use like reaction cards, whether or not to use throughout cards. Throughout cards are very powerful, but if you do the throughout card, you can't do anything else. So you gotta think about how to build your deck to best manage this situation and defeat your opponent. I bring up as a point in the Go video that there's as much potential for brilliant maneuvers as there are stupid maneuvers. It is vastly more amplified in this game when you have all these cards to choose from by combining any two Megami. Some combinations are going to work out a little bit better than others, depending on what combination they are up against. And then I have 2 sets for the potential of mirror matches or half mirror matches. And it's just, this is And as I said before in the Blows games for this, this is a game I want to play more of, and I just want to find the kind of group that's gonna be interested in playing it over a long period of time, so we can explore the strategies better. I mess with this game at home, and it's just there's only so much you can figure out looking at it by yourself. But I do sense that there's a lot of possibility and strategy with this game, and I just wish I had more to say on it. There's just so much, and then there's the newer ones out too, to have more characters and more combinations, more things to think about strategically. This is a game I'm looking to revisit later down the line, when, or at this point, if I can get those new sets. But for now, I'm happy with the sets that I have right now. And one of the things I want to do, perhaps starting next month, and very likely into next year, is find people who want to play this game with me. We get that group going, and we start figuring out the strategies together and understanding what things are going to work and what things are not. And just really have fun with it. Thank you for watching this video, and if you've watched other videos in the series, thank you for watching this series. I'm going to go ahead and call it here for now. Player Nexus is just kind of a an experiment in trying different content regarding how I talk about tabletop games, and I might come back to it with some other games at some point. And I have a great big shelf full of games. I've got my the area underneath my desk for games. There's a lot to explore. But for now, thank you for watching this video very much. Thank you for watching the series. We'll see you at the next series.